News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, global bond yields have risen to highs last seen since 2009, ahead of the Federal Reserve's final policy decision of the year. There is concern interest rate cutting cycles may be ending soon, but for today, traders are all but certain a rate cut is on the way. As Bloomberg's Michael McKee reports, though, that's not the only thing investors will be focused on.
The markets have priced in a quarter-point cut, and the Fed doesn't like to disappoint. But the real questions revolve around dissents, the dot plot, and their 2026 outlook. We may have three policymakers vote against the decision for the first time since 2019. Investors are also focused on what comes next. In September, Fed officials saw just one rate cut for next year. At the moment, the markets are pricing in three. How many they see now will depend on their forecasts for unemployment and inflation in 2026. They forecast improvement in both back in September. But have the risks changed? Michael McKee, Bloomberg Radio.
Well, Nathan, ahead of the Fed's last policy decision of the year, President Trump once again took aim at Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell. The president spoke at a rally in Pennsylvania.
We're checking this. We have a bad head of the Fed. We're going to be making a change. Fortunately, this guy's out.
And President Trump says he has a, quote, pretty good idea on who he wants to run the Fed. The president says he may wait until early next year to publicly reveal the name.
Well, Karen, the economy was front and center at President Trump's rally. He was out to address voters' concerns about the high cost of living. In the Mount Pocono crowd, the president said people are starting to see the benefits of tariffs.
What's amazing is the smart people understand it. Other people are starting to learn. But the smart people really understand it.
President Trump argued the tariffs have allowed him to provide aid to farmers and have forced manufacturers to build plants and data centers in the U.S. As for high prices, the president says he inherited those from the Biden administration.
They say affordability, and everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously.
At one point, President Trump suggested he could try to remove some Federal Reserve governors if former President Biden signed their commissions with an auto pen. The president has criticized Biden's use of automatic signatures before. Presidents have used them since at least the 1940s.
Let's stay with politics here, Nathan. History has been made in Miami. Eileen Higgins won the city's mayoral runoff. She becomes the first woman ever and the first Democrat in nearly 3 decades to lead Miami. Higgins beat a Republican endorsed by President Trump. Higgins' victory adds to a recent stretch of Democratic gains, including last month's wins in New Jersey and Virginia, and Zohran Mamdani's victory as New York mayor.
In Washington, Karen, Senate Republicans are set to vote this week on a plan to counter Democrats' push to extend expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Bloomberg's Amy Morris reports from Washington.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune promised Democrats a vote to extend Obamacare premium tax credits in exchange for reopening the government last month. But Republicans don't want to vote against the extension without an alternative plan. This proposal would offer people in some Affordable Care Act health plans up to $1,500 in health savings accounts, but it also includes restrictions that could ruin Democratic support. Neither the Republican nor Democratic plans are expected to get the 60 votes needed for Senate passage. And health care costs for more than 20 million people are set to spike January 1st. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.